Okay, so it's been about a month since I uploaded a video on this channel. Um, the last time I just looked this up like a couple of seconds ago. The last time I actually recorded a video on this channel was when I was in Florida. Um, the last day too was the last day I was in Florida. I was leaving that day, June 29th, 2015. That's the last time I recorded a video on this channel. Um, That was so long ago, actually. It wasn't long ago, but it just feels so long ago. I was with AJ. We were recording videos. Just fuck. It just feels so long ago. Um, and yeah, I just want to apologize for the lack of videos on this channel. Um, I really am sorry. I just got really busy when I came back from Florida with work and other things like that. So I want to apologize for the lack of videos. I'm going to try to start uploading more videos on this channel. Um, and yeah, so let's just get right into this video. I'm going to be doing a Death Note review. I haven't done one. That was the last video I recorded on this channel. Was the last episode of this show. Um, and yeah, I went so long without watching it that I had to kind of refresh my memory. I didn't go back and watch, like, I went back and watched a couple of things that were important. Um, but, you know, I gonna be getting back into doing this. And yeah, let's just hope that I can upload again. But let's just get right into this episode. This episode is Season 1, Episode 9. It is called Encounter. And it came out on... Hold on one second. It came out in Japan. The original air date was November 28th, 2006. And then in English, it came out on December 15th, 2007. It's going to be really weird to do this video without AJ, because I usually did it with him. But I think I can pull it off pretty well. Let's just see how I do. If I suck at this, then oh well. It's the first time I've done it by myself, so give me a break. So, the episode kicked off. Ryuk and Light are just walking into town because Ryuk is starting to go through the symptoms of, you know, withdrawal not spiders, apples. Because I guess Shinigami have to eat apples. And that's what Ryuk is going through right now. And Light is going to buy him some apples because they're going to go into a place where they're not being followed, where there's nobody around. And he feeds him an apple, and Ryuk's all fine now. So then Light comes home, and the chief before this, his father, the chief of the FBI, told Ryozaki, because they had the reason that Light couldn't even feed him apples because he had the camera and wires in the house. So the chief says that there's no way his family can have this because they weren't watching TV when the other deaths took place in the last episode. But Ryozaki says that could be a possibility, but then he sees Light walks in, and Light realizes that he's not really going to get anything done, but he doesn't want to really be suspicion that he is part of the deaths. So what he's going to do is he's going to watch the news and try to remember people's faces, the criminals' faces that he sees, and then later on when he's walking outside or something, he keeps like a page of his death note in his wallet, and he's going to write down their names. And I thought that was actually pretty cool. A pretty smart idea. He's so smart when it comes to this stuff. And Ryozaki tells the other FBI agents that are working on this case that the cameras revealed nothing. That they didn't get any new information. They still don't know who still don't know who Kira is. And Ryozaki's thinking to himself that even though they're gonna take the cameras down, but even though that they put the cameras up, there's still a 5% chance that they could be involved because they're not gonna they're still gonna off camera. They're still gonna do suspicious things. Um, they're not gonna. They're gonna probably not be as suspicious on camera. So light, not light. Ryozaki um, figures that the best way is to try to get close to Kira to see if he can get him to reveal himself, and then he can catch him. But he realized that that's going to be nearly impossible. Um, so back at home, Light um, is they realize there's no more cameras. Ryuk tells them that, but they still think that there could be wires there, but there isn't anymore. So Light realizes that he's not a suspect anymore. He realizes that this is a good thing. So after he's done getting into college and all that, he's gonna find out who L is, and eliminate him, and then that way he can continue to make the world a better place. So he goes to take his test. No, actually, I think, before he took his test, they were in the Shinigami place, and they were telling him about everything that's going on with Light, but they don't necessarily know like who Light is, but they know what's going on in the human world with the Death Note and all that. And they talk about one of them comes up and says it must be terrible to have Ryuk as a pet because he's ugly, which I thought was awesome. And that guy's gonna go investigate to see what's going on. So that might be used in the future. I'm not really sure. And Light's going to take his test though. He's taking his test to get into college, to get into a good college. And who's taking the test? Because one of the instructor giving the test says, "You there, sit down correctly." And who was it? None other than Ryozaki, which I thought was awesome. I marked out when that happened. I thought that was really awesome. And this was really cool because this was the first time that Ryozaki and Light were in the same room at the same place. There was no like computer or mystery thing. They were right there, and you knew what was going on. You knew what was gonna happen at this point. So they're doing this thing. I guess it's like a ceremony to bring in the new freshmen, which they didn't do for me when I went to college. But I went to a community college, so maybe this is different. Where Light, since he did the best on the test, he's gonna give like a speech, which makes sense. And it makes sense that he did the best. And he's dressed up all fancy in a suit and tie, like the way you should be dressed for a ceremony like this. But then they don't just bring him; they bring up this guy's name, and let me just look up his name. It was none other than Hideka Ryuka. That I think that's how you say that name. I'm not exactly sure, but that's the best way I'm gonna pronounce it. And it's actually the same name as a famous person, and he's actually not really smart, so they're shocked that he got into it. But it's not actually that famous person. It's Ryozaki. He's using this name, and he's dressed the way he normally is dressed. He doesn't wear shoes, which I don't know why he never wears shoes. I'm guessing he can't afford them or something. But maybe we'll find out later on in the show. He's just dressed the way he normally does, and everybody makes comments about it. That Light's dressed like really nice for this event. He's dressed like the smart guy should be, but then Ryozaki is just dressed like this. And he just seems. They talk about how he just seems awkward and all that. Then so Light gives his speech, and then Ryozaki gives his speech, and then Light finds this suspicious because this was the same guy that was not sitting properly in his for the test, and Ryozaki's talking to Light, and Ryozaki tells Light, all this information that he's the son of the chief, that he's really smart, that he's worked with the FBI before, helped him with cases, and he says that I hear you have an interest in the Kira case, and Light finds it suspicious that he knows all this information about him, and he says I have some very important information that you have to keep to that you can't tell anybody. And Light's like, okay, what is it? Trying to be all casual about it. And Light finds this suspicious. And Ryozaki just openly says, I'm L. He just tells him he's L. and Light's shocked about this, um, because he just finds it shocking that L will reveal himself to him. He feels like that it's a shock, and I like the way that they made it so dramatic, because right when that happened, the camera just changed. Light's head was red, and went red. Like before. I don't know if you remember that, but it just really went really dramatic, and Light's just really concerned about this because he realizes that he's not going to be able to eliminate him pretty much, because if he does, the FBI is going to suspect that he did it because he was the last person that L talked to, and he's afraid that if he does, that he knows he's afraid he's giving him like a fake name, an alienated name, because if Light writes his name down, he feels that he's going to picture that famous person that L was using as the fake name. So that's his concerns. He goes in depth into it, and Light just pretends that he's nice, that they're buddies and stuff like that, and he wants to know too what his intentions are. What's L's intentions? So then they kind of disappear. He's like, "It was nice meeting you. I'll see you on campus." So they're gonna be college students now, which is awesome. And this was really awesome too, because this was the first time that they've talked to each other. They went face to face, and this is why it was awesome, and it made sense. This is why it's called Encounter, because this is the first encounter that in person that Ryozaki, also known as L, had with Light, also known as Kira. So I think that's awesome. And they don't really know. Well, Light now knows that this is L, but L still doesn't know, or Ryozaki still doesn't know that this is Kira. He says he has suspicions, but he's not exactly sure yet. So then Light goes home. He's pissed. He realizes that he's got him, because originally, if he found out who L was, he was just gonna have him die, commit suicide. But now he can't do that because of the obvious reasons I just brought up. And he feels like that this couldn't be L. This could just be somebody that looks like L, or somebody pretending to be L. And if he eliminates him, L is gonna get suspicious, and then he's gonna know who he is. But he said that this could be L. So then Light says that I underestimated him. But then Light's all pissed off about this, and Ryuk even thinks that I never seen Light this pissed off. He's normally calm when this stuff happens, but he realizes that he's got him. So then Ryuk thinks that maybe Light will I screwed up. So Light says that he's just gonna build a friendship with this guy on campus, and then secretly they're gonna hate each other. And once he finds out everything he needs to know from this guy, he will eliminate him. And then that was the end of the episode. And this was an awesome episode. The reason why this was so awesome was because of the encounter with L and or Ryozaki and Light or Kira. It was the first time they came in contact face to face with each other. That was awesome. And that kind of was the gist of the whole episode. There was other good things in this episode, but that was really like the main focus of this episode, and I loved everything about this episode. This was awesome. So that's pretty much my thoughts on this episode. I will try to upload more videos on this channel, like I said before. Maybe I'll try to upload another Death Note review today, or maybe this week. I'm not really sure yet. But other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. If you want to subscribe to other stuff, Wrestling Fortune 44, or the Talkinator, James Hebert, Weymouth Youth Wrestling, that's all right there. And you can subscribe to my channel down below for more videos from me. And you can also click somewhere on this video for the playlist, the Death Note reviews, if you want to watch my past Death Note reviews. And that's pretty much it, guys. I'll talk to you guys later.